Welcome. This is Joshua Benoist in Autodesk Product Support. So this is video 2, where we were talking about a customer's issue. They created a family, a couple families actually, and after inserting them into a project, they're having trouble creating a supply and return system. So let's look at the problem statement real quick for the case. And pause it if you need to read that. We're moving on. So, RevitMEP. Where we left off, we had a warning. So, we were in the mechanical, and we had gone to more tools, check duct systems, and we got warning 1 of 2. This is talking about a return system on that fan coil. Is not connected to anything. That's fine, we know that. We haven't put any return diffusers in or created any return systems yet. And then warning 2 said mechanical supplier 1 is not well connected. Okay, well let's go look at what that means. So I, in between videos, drew a what do you call these things? A section. And if I double click on the section, let's go look at it. So it looks like we drew our fan coil right about where level 2 is. And so I imagine that's causing some issues with the view. So let's go back into our reflected ceiling plan here. Now, supposedly when I hover my cursor there and hit the tab key twice, and then click my left mouse button, I'm supposed to see the layout path that links these two together and says, hey, there's a system here. Well, I know I've got a system here. I've got the edit system buttons and stuff up here. But I can't see my routing path that links them together. So let's go back to our section. Let's change level 2. Since this is just a sample file, I'm going to just move it up out of the way. There we go. So it's now moved up out of the way. And we'll minimize that. Come back into our reflected ceiling plan. So notice, I drew a duct off the back at some point here. I'm going to delete that. But now if I hover my cursor here, hit the tab key, and then hit my mouse, I'm now selecting on my system, and you can see that it's got the routing path there. It was because our fan coil was kind of in between levels. We drew it relative to level 1, but yet it was above level 2. Alright, so that's fixed that. Now we can use layout path to create our ductwork. And this routing path is not very good. It's trying to connect it up to this side of the fan coil unit. So let's look through some other choices. That looks better. Might be better just to grab this, go to modify, pull this down a little bit further, and hopefully it'll make better connections. Has more room to make its elbows. And it's got an elbow up off of that grill too, so let's finish this and see if it... No, it still doesn't like it. We may end up having to manually draw ductwork in here, but okay. But the point is that it allowed us to create our duct system by fixing this supply grill. Let's look at this and go edit family. Yes. Now, let's look at the supply connector on this. Notice it says calculated and out. That is good. So air is coming from the fan coil unit out through the connector into the duct system. Right? So if we think back to our diffuser, it was preset and in. So the supplier was coming into the connector from the duct. Here it's coming from the connector into the duct. So it's coming out of the connector into the duct. Now, notice this is also calculated, which means you can't generate a supply system from this. You're not supposed to.